this
Okay.
year.
So the people that you basically grew up with, you know, all through school, they still have another year of school then?
Yes.
Okay.
And why did you pick Chardon to unleash? I know that I think you had mentioned this, but why not wait till you're at Auburn, or why not wait until you're at Lake? Was it because there's more kids there, or what?
Mm,
Or was it always in your head, Chardon?
yeah, and Chardon was kind of always in my head, I guess, but there was no like direct reason. We could have done it anywhere, it'd be the same result. I'm familiar with like the Chardon building. That doesn't change any of it. I don't know, just random.
Now, when you first thought of this, like we said 2 weeks ago, it was, did you have a specific plan?
No.
Okay. Did you know what, again, what were you trying to accomplish? Like I said, it came in your mind.
Really didn't accomplish anything.
Okay. Well, I know, well, I'm saying at that time when you were thinking about it, what was like your goal? You know, hey, if I do this, you know, this is what I want to try to accomplish, or this is what I'm trying to prove. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I know what
Okay.
you mean. There really was nothing that I even thought it would accomplish. I didn't like the result that I'd end up in probably being shot or in jail. So I still don't understand why.
And again, Thomas, you're being truthful with you, or with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, it's always going to come back, which I have in my mind. You know, there's always like a rhyme or reason for everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And not that we've had incidents like this in Chardon before, but whenever we learned in the past through other shootings, there's always a rhyme or reason. You know, why did they do this? You know, and that's why I bring up the bullying point right there. Okay, that seems to be one of the ones, but you're stating clearly that's not it.
Yeah, it's being completely honest.
Okay. I mean, we're not going to think anything different of you. Like I said, just from talking to you here, you seem like a normal, American boy.
Yeah.
Quiet, reserved. You seem very intelligent.
Thanks.
And that's why I'm just trying to, we're trying to get at the reason so we can understand, and even you can understand.
I know.
Why you did it.
Dude.
We're not going to think anything different of you.
Yeah.
Or everyone has issues, everyone has problems, or if there's some underlying thing that you don't want to get out to us, because we're going to think you differently, believe me, that's not it. We're not.
I mean, I know I'm already at the bottom of everything. I would tell you everything. I've already shot at people. It can't get any worse. I guess there's usually a reason for things, but I honestly don't understand the reason for this too. I just did it I don't know. It's the same. I don't know. I'm trying to think of words to put into it. I don't know. There's just really no main reason. There's no bullying. There's no problems or depression. I feel fine. Live normally. It's just something that I chose to do.
I mean, a pretty big deal. I mean, someone bringing a gun to school.
Yeah.
That's the first and foremost. And with you having it in your head, well, I'm going to bring it, but I don't want anything. I don't believe anything's going to happen. But something did, and that's why we're.
I know. I understand, and I'll try to explain everything the best that I can, but
you keep bringing up the point that you felt you were forced to do it.
Yeah.
Now, when you're forced to do something, you have pressure coming from somewhere in order to do it, and that's That's what I guess I'm trying to get at.
I
You know,
know.
you know, what forced you to do it?
I don't know what to say.
And the only thing that I see that is kind of similar to this is I've dealt with some troubled teens and even early 20s that just got that internal confusion. And I run into this when I've had kids and adults who are cutters,
Yeah.
and they have no feeling. And so a lot of times they don't want to cut themselves, but they do because it's the only thing in life that seems to give them some sort of feeling.
I mean, I like life. I'm not
Mhm.
like that. Like, I really started, like, since I was knew what I wanted to do in my future, I felt a lot more motivated. Like, I went from liking life to, like, being driven, I guess, to be a
Driven in
psychologist.
what regards?
Like, to
be
become a
something.
psychologist and help people.
Is that self-imposed driven that you've put on yourself, or is that from like your grandparents? You said, you know, they're a little
Myself.
hard. So you have this internal drive in
Yeah.
you, which is good.
I want to do good and help people. That's how I've always been. Like,
Mhm.
everybody in my family knows that. That's why no one knew that I was going to do this.
But was that same driven feeling you were having? Because, you know, we get that all with goals and achievements and going for something.
I mean, there's half, like, I didn't want to do it. Like I said, half of me didn't want to do it, but I just kind of somehow ignored the part of me that didn't want to do it and just soullessly shot at people. I don't know if that answers.
I think we're all still just lost on what was the feeling you were trying to get by doing that. Did you think, and obviously you didn't get that, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, but what were you
Yeah.
trying to, you know, get out of it?
Nothing. There's nothing good out of it. Like, anyone can bring a gun to school and shoot people. It doesn't make you different or unique. It's, I don't know.
Well, you mentioned that you know, you have an internal drive and you want to succeed and you want to do good. You want to be a psychologist, which
Yeah.
is great. I've known people in the past that, I mean, they have a drive no matter what they're doing. You know, if the doctor says, hey, I need 10 hours of sleep, whether they sleep or not, they're going to hug that bed for the next 10 hours and force themselves to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Was it something like that? I mean, you know, maybe you thought about this and you're just like, okay, you know, I got to get it done. I have to succeed type of thing, maybe? Or,
It kind of sounds like that. It wasn't kind of like that, I guess. It wasn't
Okay.
like succeeding.
Accomplish is another
yeah,
word.
you got to try to
Yeah.
accomplish something.
Yeah, it wasn't like succeeding, making me feel better.
Yeah.
But in a way, I guess it was an accomplishment.
Like a goal you had set, you weren't certain about it, but you had created this goal and you needed to see it through.
Kind of. Yeah.
Did you want people to know your name?
No, like I said, I don't really like attention. You could choose to talk to people. People try to be friendly and stuff, but I just,
You just wanted to do something
yeah,
kind of big.
not really. Like, it, to me, it's not like big. It's low. It's only going to bring negative attention, which is even worse.
Well, big though, it's a substantial event. It's not every day that you hear about something like this.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you try and help any of the kids?
To help them. No, after I shot, I just ran
Why did you run?
because I didn't want to hurt any more people.
Were you scared of getting caught?
No, I mean, I knew if you go to school with a gun, you're gonna get caught. That's inevitable, but that's why I turned myself in anyways. Like,
Yeah, but Mr. Hall's coming behind you.
yeah,
Why not turn yourself in then, as opposed to point the gun at him?
I adrenaline. I guess I was just wanted to get away from what I did. Run.
Have you ever taken any gun classes or anything on how to fire a gun, or you just
No, I've fired before with my family.
okay?
Hardly ever handguns. We usually fire like a 22 rifle. I think just small.
Okay, just I mean, have you been hunting or anything like that, or
No,
okay?
Do you like hunting?
no. I tried it once with him, but I couldn't. Once I built myself up to do it, and then like he wanted me to go hunting with him so badly, so I just went along with him. And once I was like aiming at the rabbit, I couldn't shoot it, so I just quit.
And who were you with, your dad?
I was with I think my other uncle Willie.
And who is your dad, Tom?
Tom, yeah.
You know, you mentioned about that. I mean, did you feel this is a big thing? I know when we talked earlier and you said, hey, about bringing the gun, you know, it's not, you know, it didn't feel that like a big of a thing, but.
I guess it's big. It affected a lot of people in that way.
Okay.
And when you say big, I for some reason assume like big is like positive, but
Oh, okay.
someone gun giving you, I guess yeah, it's big, but it's negative. I just get the word big
Okay.
messed up, I guess.
But you do agree it is a negative.
Yeah, it affected a lot of people. Everybody at Chardon, everybody in the world probably actually. If it's on the news and stuff.
Well, what do you think should happen to you?
I need to help people make up for it.
Okay. Well, do you feel that you need help?
I don't feel like I need help. I feel like after seeing what it's like, I would never do anything like that again. I mean, that's why I turned myself in. It was stupid and pointless.
Do you feel any type of relief? Because I know that you said you're thinking about this for the past 2 weeks. I mean, was it playing on? It was been playing on your head the past 2 weeks.
Relief that it's over.
Relief that
It
yeah,
happened.
yeah. Well, it happened, or the relief that it's over, and you're here with us, and we're talking to you, and
To an extent that it's over, but it's kind of like canceled out by like regret. Like I wish
Okay.
it didn't happen, so it's not like relieving. But since I turned myself in, like, it's something good to feel about.
Okay.
That I wouldn't do it again.
I mean, if you would have went to school today and not done anything, would you have thought,
Continue
okay,
to think about it.
yeah, the fact that bringing the gun to school is a big deal. Okay, okay, if you bring it, I mean, that would that be playing in your mind? Okay, I brought it to school, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, could that have been? I mean, would there have been relief in knowing the fact that you didn't have this pressure built up on you, or you didn't have the
I think this answers your question. Like when I had the gun to school, how much I didn't want to do it. If I just went home and got rid of it, I would have like just having it there was terrifying enough where I realized this is not what I should be doing. Like I'm trying to answer.
I mean, because you're telling me right now, hey, it's I guarantee it'll never happen again. I mean,
If
the
I
fact that
did-
bringing the gun to school, and if you didn't use it and you came home and you put it back in your uncle's thing, would there have been a relief in the fact that, okay, nothing happened, that was stupid, I'm never,
Like,
Not really.
would I have?
Would you have considered it again?
All right. So would I? You're asking if I've been still thinking about shooting people? Or
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I took it back. All right. All right. Like I was trying to answer that. I personally don't think I would, just because, like, when I had to just force myself to do it, everything else was like against me doing it. If I just could have gotten rid of it, it would have been over the same as it's over now.
Okay.
If that explains.
No, that does. I mean, is there anything you'd want to add? I know you told us before you feel remorseful and all that, but
No.
Would you tell your family if they were here right now?
Probably the same thing I told you guys. They'd probably ask about the same questions. I don't know what I really could say to them.
Is there anything else? Well, we may want to talk to you again, TJ, okay? We can do that. You've given us a lot of information here that we need to process and put together. And then we may have some additional questions for you, okay?
yeah, I understand.
Have you eaten at all?
Yeah, I ate this morning. I couldn't eat right now, but if there's a restroom, I could use the restroom.
Okay, we'll get you to a restroom there, and then what we're gonna do is give you some time to complete a written statement for us. We'll give you a little privacy to do that, okay? I'll walk you over to the restroom while we get some safe points. Is that
I'm gonna
garbage?
go that way.
Yeah, just go ahead right here.
Thank you for talking.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Out this way and then to your left, okay? Restroom right here across the hall. You said there's something else that you wanted to tell us?
Yeah. A long time ago when I was younger, when I would be extremely nervous, I used to hear like voices. It hasn't happened forever, and even though today I was extremely nervous, it didn't happen at all. It was when I was way younger. I figured that's something I should know.
Was that in sixth grade? Was that one of the things that you guys talked about in sixth grade?
Wait, talked about in sixth grade?
Well, I
Oh,
always my grandmother took it in psychology.
I
so.
didn't. She didn't know about that. It was around that time I mentioned it to my dad and Adam only. I think, like, it was never like a big deal to me. It was just like random stuff, and I was super nervous. And it hasn't happened for a long time.
Okay. What were the voices? I mean, just give me, for instance, if you're, nervous about what, taking a test or something like that? Or?
No, like, just like shouting, just like random things, like usually negative words like no,
Okay.
stop.
Okay.
Some points.
Yeah. Okay. I got some there.
I don't think so. The only other question I had, I don't know that we asked, but when Mr. Hall is coming down the hallway and you turn towards him, did you pull the trigger at all?
No. Yeah, I knew it was empty.
All right, what I'd like to do is just get a statement from you here, okay?
Yes.
And what I would like is for you to put down in writing what happened so that it's in your own words. Okay? You don't have to do this, but
Just in detail, exactly movements and
yeah,
everything.
the more detail, the better. Okay, that way we want to come back and ask more questions again. And I'm going to give you some time to do that, okay?
Alright.
Do you have any questions for me prior to that?
No.
Okay, let me do that. Move my stuff here out of the way.
I'll leave you some extra sheets here. Like who you talked to, when you're in the cafeteria. Yeah, I went to the bathroom.
Alright,
Then I came back and I sat and talked to someone, so then I went to the bathroom again.
No thoughts too, what
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah.
as well.
The date was
Today is the 27th.
Did I put the time
You know what, put, right now, it's 11:08. And then if you want that, where the, you just put GCS, so Geauga County Sheriff's Office. And then the next line, you just put your name. And then your address right on there. And your nickname is TJ, right?
Yeah. Wait,
That's right. Your date of birth.
Yeah.
If you know your social security number, you can put it there. If not,
I'm
don't.
not familiar with
Okay. And then you are giving the statement too, and you just put PTL period.
PTO.
PTL. That's just abbreviation for patrolman. And my last name is Delisa. It's DELISA. And that all I'm doing is that I'm identifying myself as a police officer. And I'm just putting as a police officer. And, you know, the officer, you know, before advised you of your rights, you know, those are your rights again, if you want to read them over.
I remember.
Okay, you know, if you want to give me a statement, great. We're not forcing you to do this. This is strictly voluntary on your part. So if you want to give me a statement, go ahead and write it. If not, you don't have to. Okay. And I'll give you some time to do that. Give you some extra right there. If we need more paper, I'll grab some more. Okay.
A cup of coffee.
No,
Are there any questions?
do I have any questions?
Mhm.
No.
Did you, you have a computer at home?
Yes, I do.
And when, last night, were you writing anyone on the computer, tweeting or emailing or Facebooking?
No, I don't use my Facebook much, and I don't have Twitter.
Mm-hmm. So did anyone have any indication that you may have been bringing a gun to school today?
No, no one would have any idea.
How many people do you think you hurt today?
I honestly have no idea.
Do you think you killed anybody today?
I hope not. I just fired so fast and ran. I have no idea if anyone even fell or said anything. Anything like ow or screamed.
I wish there was something I could say to make it better.
Wish there's something I could say to take it back. Go back in time.
You've changed that school forever.
I know.
I graduated from Chardon. I haven't changed a thing in that school since I graduated either. You know, the cafeteria and the gym and that bathroom and that principal's office and that hall.
And
My locker was right next to the flipping office door in that hallway you ran out. And they let me keep the same locker all 4 years. And you give this statement totally voluntarily, right?
yeah, he told me I don't have to do
You don't even have to talk to us if you don't want to.
it. I want to.
I can't help but feel bad, Tom.
You know,
For everybody, for you, for the kids, for the school, for everybody. It just didn't have to be. You know, we deal with a lot of kids, a lot of people, period, and there's people that I could probably have picked, you know, well, they probably do something like that, but I don't think you're one of them.
I'm not. I'm far from it. Statement of Thomas Lane.
This is page 1 of, and then this is this will be page 2 of, okay. I don't think we have the report number yet, so. What's your birthday, Tom?
September 19th, 1994.
So you'll be 18 on September 19th. Did you feel like you could have talked to somebody before all this? Or should have talked to somebody?
I should have. Well, yeah, I should have. Yeah,
If there's anything we can learn from all this, because you know it'd be a travesty to have this happen and not learn anything as a result.
yeah,
Maybe it's start thinking these things you really probably or could talk to someone. Maybe that would help get it out
yeah,
or make that pressure less. You know, that internal feeling you've got going on with you.
it is a good lesson.
A lot of times kids are and adults doesn't matter. People are just afraid to talk because they're afraid of what people are going to think of them or
Yeah,
you know, or that they're crazy for even having these thoughts, and you know, so it keeps us from saying anything. And that's exactly what you got to do.
it is.
The hard part is picking somebody that was actually going to listen.
Yeah,
Maybe you just didn't have that someone who's, you know, someone you could trust to listen.
I guess, yeah, kind of. I like a lot of my family members, but I kind of wouldn't really want to talk to them, I guess, about that.
Did you try to talk to anybody?
No, I didn't say a word about anything about this.
Did you feel like you had to prove to yourself something?
Not really. Like I said, anyone can bring a gun to school and kill people. It doesn't make you any better or special. It doesn't take any type of skill to pull a trigger. I think that's about it.
When you were going to the bathroom, was it because you were just so nervous that you couldn't sit still?
I was nervous and I was going to the bathroom just to be away from noise and think.
It was quiet in the bathroom.
Quieter, it wasn't, yeah.
And when you're in the bathroom, what were you actually thinking? I'm not going to do this, or I am going to do this.
I was thinking, I'm not gonna do it. And I just figured I'll go sit at a table.
It's just sort of off in this corner and myself.
Force myself. Should I rewrite that?
Hey, is this kid?
Is there anyone in Chardon that you know?
No.
Okay.
How long have you been thinking about shooting other students? When this thought first occurred to you? And about 2 weeks ago, do you think you had this thought like occurred on a weekend or after school or?
I don't know. It wouldn't really make a difference difference where it was, I guess.
No, it probably wouldn't have made a difference. I was asking, did you talk to or plan this attack with anyone else other than yourself?
Hey, you mentioned Tyler's probably your closest friend.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him today at all?
No, I did not. Last time I talked to him was last night.
When you got the gun from your uncle,
Yeah.
it was completely empty. All the clips were empty.
The clips were empty. Yeah, one clip was in it, one clip was in the box.
Did you specifically take 20 bullets from him, or you just took a handful of
A handful. I
Okay.
think I ended up with almost 40,
Okay.
maybe.
Where are the spares? Are the spares in your drawer?
They're wrapped up in a black shirt in the bottom drawer.
Your bottom dresser drawer?
Yeah, bottom dresser drawer.
And how many? You said roughly you took 40.
Yeah, around 40. I
So
think.
you had 2 loaded magazines. So
There's probably about 20 left.
Okay. No other guns or anything in your house, right?
No other guns. No.
Okay, you said they're wrapped in a black shirt, the bottom dresser drawer. The knife was still in your book bag.
Knife was when
No, I'm sorry. When the deputies picked you up, the knife was still in the book bag.
the book bag was left at the table. The
Okay.
knife was with me, and
Okay.
I was dropped on the side of the road with the gun.
Gotcha. Did you drop the knife too then?
Yes, yeah, right
Okay.
next to it.
Did you do it when you saw the deputies? Is that what?
No, I was sitting down, like, I came to the road, but I was downhill a little bit, sitting there waiting for tear sirens for them to come, and they weren't, so I walked up to the road, dropped the weapons right there, and then kind of like waved to a car.
Okay.
When someone finally slowed down and asked me what I was doing there, I told her, please call 911, I just killed people.
Okay. So you sat down 2 separate areas. Like, so when you first got there, you sat down with your sister and her friends, right?
Yeah,
At a
originally.
table. Okay. How many times would you say you went back and forth to the back?
I believe I got up once, went to the bathroom, then I came back to the table, went back to the bathroom, And then I went one more time, but I didn't go all the way to the table. I left, and then immediately just went right back in.
Okay, so you went 3 times.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: did you really have to go to the bathroom?
No, I didn't. I mean,
Okay.
originally, the first time, yeah.
Okay, but the other 2, why did you go if you didn't have to?
I was sitting there. It was quieter, just so I could think,
Okay, think about.
not do anything.
Okay, so you still had it in your mind you wanted to do it. You were still contemplating. Right?
Yeah.
I know you said. I mean, is it safe to say you said earlier? You said half of you wanted to do it, the other half didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I believe you told me that at that time the bad half kind of took over. Is that how you would? I mean, is that how you would describe it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So you went to the bathroom roughly three times.
Yes.
And the last time you went to the bathroom, when you came out, is that when you sat at the other table?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my sister, the bell rang, she went to her locker, and then she's coming back to cafeteria because she had study hall and turned in the study hall, and so just
Okay.
waiting. And she came up to me and said a couple words, and then went back to her seat, which was now on the complete opposite end
Okay.
of the cafeteria.
But you were still sitting in that table
Yeah, when she approached
when
me.
she approached you. Okay. I mean, did you feel nervous at all? Because this
Yeah.
was going through your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nervous. Like what I was saying though, like when I was really young, when I was nervous to hear voices, now I'm
Yeah.
extremely nervous and didn't hear anything and haven't for a long time.
And when you came in the last time, you went to that closest table,
Yes.
all right? And there were still a group of students there, right?
On the table in front of me, not the table I was sitting at.
Well, the table I thought you said the bell rang and then they.
I think that was before the last bath. No, I think you're right then. Yeah, they were right when
No,
I sat
I don't know.
down.
I'm getting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it was. When I sat down, there was a few people,
Okay.
and then they got up and left because the bell rang right then.
And then you slid down,
Yeah.
like you showed us on the diagram. You slid down. Okay. And again, you dropped the magazine and loaded the full magazine when you were outside the school. Did the lady wait for you at the roadside there until the deputies came?
Yeah, when a couple cars passed, and I think the lady, she slowed down, and I believe she actually turned around. She drove by and turned around and came back. And then another lady came up behind her, and a man came up and pulled up in front of her, and then they were, every other car, they waved away to go the other way.
And you said no one else knew, no one else was involved.
Yeah, nobody.
You didn't say anything to your sister or anything?
No.
Did you give any hints anything to your sister to make her sound concerned for you? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
It was just like a normal day when she came up, I know you said she came back to the cafeteria. What did she talk to you about?
She said something like, "Oh, so now you moved away from me because I usually sit by her."
Yeah.
And then I said, what did I say? Something about not liking sitting where she was for study hall because there's a bunch of people across from me that would always try to talk to me. And then she said, "Oh, I see how it is," just joking around, walked away.
So what time does the school drop you off? The bus drop you off at the school then?
I get into school, I think, like 7,
Okay.
I think.
All right. So roughly, you said a half hour, right?
Yeah, it's like about 7:30 when I started shooting.
And then Like I said, when you said you sat at the table with your sister and her friends, did you engage in their conversation, or was it just?
Not really. I wasn't there, like, sitting there too long because I was going back and forth to the bathroom
Okay.
and talked a little bit, I think.
But getting back to you mentioned about you having that internal drive to see, like, so you had plans to go to college and all that.
Yeah.
There wasn't. Was there a driving force
For today.
for today? I mean, because just from what you're describing to me, that's what it almost seems like.
Yeah.
Because you had half of you wanted to do it, the other half didn't want to do it, but you were forced to do it.
So it would be like a driving force.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting words in your mouth or anything.
It
I'm
makes
just
sense.
trying to get the.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions you want to?
Yeah, there's a couple. TJ, how far away were you?
Very close. Like the tables are, say this was a table, would be a little thicker. Probably like at that wall, I think. Maybe it might have been like a step further, but around there.
Were you close enough to touch anybody?
No.
2 steps away?
Yeah. About that.
Any further than that?
Not really.
Why did you do this? You've going back and read the notes,
I
I've
know.
read everything that you've said to us. There's got to be a reason why. Everything has a reason.
Why do we exist? I don't know. It's like just doesn't, it just is. I can't really, there's no direct motive that made me really motivated to do this.
Well, everything that we do has risks and rewards for them. And prior to making a decision, we all think about the risk versus the reward.
Yeah.
When you thought about that in relation to this, what was going through your head?
I knew the risk was like what's happening now, and the reward was nothing.
Well, there has to be something, or else you wouldn't take the risk.
Yeah, and logically you wouldn't. But I did, and I really honestly saw like no reward in doing this.
Did you shoot anybody more than once?
I have no idea how I was moving. I don't know if I moved back and forth or just sideways, but they were all basically blind shots. Someone could have been hit twice.
Did you physically or consciously think about shooting anybody more than once?
No.
And again, like you said, we're not going to think any differently.
I'm
Okay.
being completely
Okay.
honest.
We're going to report that you've been honest with us.
Okay.
We are going to report that. Completely honest, I'm not sure I can say that yet because I still don't know why this happened.
I understand it. I'm confused myself. So,
Did you get those scratches on the face from?
thumbs.
Okay, now that I was in everything. Okay, you got a scratch on your chest or on your
Probably
neck? Okay.
thumbs too.
Good one for you. I didn't know. Tell me about the sweatshirt. You said you wore. Did you specifically wear that sweatshirt today for a reason?
I've worn it on different occasions. It wasn't bought specifically for today,
Okay,
but I did decide to wear it today.
okay. Any particular reason?
I mean, it fit. If I was gonna do it, that's what. And
If you were
that's
able
what
to,
it was. Like, shoot people.
okay.
Is there any nostalgia attached to wearing that shirt today?
Nostalgia. What's that?
Any citable reason why you wore that shirt today?
No, I really don't know.
Did you realize you were wearing that shirt today?
I realized I was wearing it today, and it would
Given the
be
events.
kind of like ironic, I
Okay.
guess. But it wasn't like any meaningful to it. It didn't mean anything to me. It was just a shirt.
Have you worn that to school prior, you said?
I didn't wear it to school, but I've worn it.
Is that something the school would typically allow you to wear?
Now that I think about it, I don't know. I have no idea.
Did you have any other clothing on today? Any jackets or
jacket,
anything?
no.
And where's your book bag?
It's still laying on that table that I was sitting at.
Okay.
Does it have any of your books or any of your other belongings in the book bag right there?
It's empty.
Okay.
What does it look like?
It's like brown and white stripes, kind of. Like it's weird shaded brown. It's pretty small. It's got a black drawstring cord and a glass thing hanging on it. It's like a little peace symbol.
Is it like a backpack or an over the shoulder or just a
It's
small handle? Or...
it's a backpack. I think it's got 2 straps on the back.
Okay. And there's nothing else inside it right now? Do you typically bring things back and forth to school?
No, everything stays at the academy that I have to use.
And do you
For the most
typically
part.
bring a school bag back and forth to school?
No, not usually. I haven't for a long time.
Why today then?
To carry the gun.
If you weren't bringing those to school, would you have brought the book bag then?
No.
Okay.
Do you understand the seriousness of what's occurred here today?
Extremely, yeah.
What do you understand about it?
It's affected millions of people and kind of changed my life. Well, definitely changed my life completely. It's kind of ruined it, actually. And people get hurt for no reason at all. It's not like they're bad, they're just random people. Maybe bad people don't even deserve to be shot.
Do you think they're all going to survive or no?
I hope so. And I don't know much about guns. I don't know much about how effective a tiny bullet is. If it's how much damage it would do, I have no idea.
What happens if they don't?
And I murdered people,
How would that make you feel?
and I already feel terrible. And I already feel like since I shot 10 bullets into a small group of people close together, there's probably some damage done.
You feel like hurting yourself at all?
No, wouldn't make much sense. If you do something wrong, that would only make it worse. It would only make sense to make up for it, compensate for it, try to. You can't really compensate for killing people.
Your family's going to need some help understanding this. How do we help them understand this?
I don't think you can understand it. I mean,
And we can try and help them though.
yeah,
We can try and help them cope.
yeah.
How do we do that?
Mine or the victim?
Yours right now, we're talking about. How do we help say
All I can think of is it's not their fault in any way. Like, they're good people to me, they're nice, and only try to do good to the best of their knowledge, their ability. It's not their fault in any way at all.
She's gonna wanna know why.
Yeah.
Deep down inside, I think you know why. I think for whatever reason you're afraid to tell us.
Honestly.
No, you do know. You know why. We all know why we do things. You can say I don't as many times as you want, but you do know why you did this.
I
You
promise
need to help us understand that.
if I had a direct reason why I did it, I would definitely tell you. I'm already in jail. I shot at people. They can't get much worse. I would tell you, but I have no idea. I just did it.
Can you understand how that's difficult for anybody to understand or comprehend or believe?
Yeah.
You understand?
I understand everything up to the point on why you didn't do it. No, there's one thing that I look for, one thing that he looked for when we talk to people, about just being responsible for their actions. Okay, every action you have, there's a reason behind everything that you do. Okay, whether it's, someone, shoplifting, food for their family or whatever, or, other crimes that, stealing money from a bank so they can make a house payment or something like that. There's always a reason behind it or some type of a motive. And I believe there's one here. Okay? And I believe also, just like him, I believe that you know what it is. Again, I think anyone, okay? I mean, the impression I have right now, you seem like a very intelligent kid, okay? And that's why I have, I would take it from a drug addict. I don't know, or someone that's been constantly in trouble. I don't know, to not have a reason or not to tell me. But, there is some type of reason behind it, and that's what we need to get back to. And like you said, families are going to want to know. Your family is going to want to know. The families of the victims, why did this kid do this? There has to be some rhyme or reason. They have to have some, facts on why did it happen.
Yeah.
And like you said, I do believe that you know why it is.
The thing is, I don't have like a reason though. It's just
Then what are you wrestling with right now?
I'm not trying to, not wrestling with anything. I'm just trying to.
Well, your body language is telling us that you're a little confused about something.
It's because trying to think about me and what's going on right now. I can tell that it's completely insane. It doesn't make sense. So I'm frustrated with myself for not making sense. I've been normal my whole life.
I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm not saying that there's a reason out there that's bad. Okay. But we do need to know why.
I would tell you, I assure you that there's nothing that made those people deserve to be shot at. Nothing at all.
But is there something that made you do it anyway?
No, I just did it. I just what it was like.
When you first started thinking about this a couple weeks ago, did you think about talking to anybody about it?
Not really, no. Hardly.
Did you talk to anybody about it?
Hmm.
Is there any reason anybody else would know that this was going to happen?
There's nothing. There's no writing, nothing.
I'm still confused about that
Yeah.
part.
Did you keep a diary or have a ledger or anything like that? Did you keep notes in or anything?
No,
Okay.
You have Facebook?
I do. I don't use it much, but it's there.
On Twitter?
No.
Any other social media? MySpace? Anything?
No. I just got an email for Lakeland that's got nothing on it.
I mean, you just don't come home from school one day and think, man, I I feel like shooting someone without having some type of reason or motive. I know I come back from work and I just had a frustrated day. And not that I want to hurt anyone, but I'm just, I just can't, go into work anymore today. I'm just so fed up with it. I get upset about it. I don't act on it, but, it just feels good to, say it and get it out. So that's why I'm trying to think, 2 weeks ago, when it first came in your mind, was there something that jarred it? Something, were you fed up at school? Did you get a bad school grade? Did, maybe someone, again, get back to the someone made fun of you? You're not feeling good about yourself, you're not feeling confident, low self-esteem, whatever.
No, you can ask people, no one's really ever made fun of me.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Well, it doesn't even have to be made fun of,
Yeah.
but how you feel about yourself.
I feel fine.
Okay.
I usually, until now, feel
Yeah.
fine about myself.
But you've been wrestling with it for the past 2 weeks. And by you telling me earlier that you kept kind of going back and forth to the bathroom, you didn't have to go the last 2 times,
Yeah.
but you were contemplating in your head, man, should I do it or shouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to get, okay, well, what's forcing you to go ahead and do it? Is it a look? Did someone give you a look? Is it, maybe someone has a better life than you feel, or they're more popular, or...
Like my thoughts on that is like, you are who you are, like, it's just the way life is. It'd be stupid to let that upset you. I
Okay.
honestly believe that, so it's nothing that anybody said or I thought about myself less in any way.
But it doesn't even have to be what someone said, it's just how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, even think about myself, like
Yeah.
I am who I am, that can't change. Why would you not like yourself? Or
Yeah. But sometimes that plays on people's minds.
yeah, and some, but I really have never had problems with that.
Under any stress at home?
Not really, just normal stress and random crazy things everyone goes through.
You said your grandparents are pretty strict.
Yeah,
Can you explain that a little bit?
like I'm 17, I still have bedtime at 10, and then she has to remind me about it every day, even though I'm completely capable of doing it myself. Just random stuff like that.
Does that kind of play on you, like, I'm 17 years old, I shouldn't have a bedtime or something like that? And I could understand, believe me, I was your age.
Yeah.
You get to a certain point, hey, I'm responsible. And in your own admission, you're a little bit more mature of everyone that's your age. You're graduating a year early.
Yeah.
Why should you have to, hey, Grandma, don't worry, I'll get to bed on time. I'll get plenty of sleep. I'll do good in school, whatever. Just let me live my own.
That's a slight problem, but that is way too minimal to beat me into shooting people at people.
So you would have to agree that it would be something a little bit, it would have to be something bigger to make you do that, right?
It should be, like, that would make more sense, but I really don't have a big reason.
Do you do you like watch gore? I know you said you played Battlefield before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally don't like much gore.
Okay,
Like,
horror movies, anything like that?
not a fan of horror movies except American Horror Story, which is kind of new. It's a TV show. It's like a horror TV show. And my sister got into it too, so we would watch that together.
Okay.
That's as horror as I'd get, and that show does get pretty weird, but I'm not like into the whole horror, gore, weird
Okay.
stuff.
You're not ever curious about, what it would be like, to see someone die, or what it would be like to actually take someone's life or anything like that?
I'm not really curious about that, and no.
And if you are, that's
sucks.
okay. I like gore and all of this and that. I like,
Yeah.
I'll go to an autopsy and watch an autopsy. Okay, that doesn't make me a bad person. I'm just interested in that stuff.
Yeah.
And there are people that, hey, that they've talked to would, I wonder what it would be like to do this or to hurt someone or,
I
whatever.
understand.
And then just what you're kind of describing in me is, you did aim, up the upper part of the body, which would be like the chest head area. And the reason you did that, if I'm going to shoot someone, I don't want them to suffer.
Yeah.
Which kind of tells me that your intent was to physically take someone's life.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess I just have a hard time. Like I said, you seem like a mature, intelligent, young man, and for someone to say, hey, if I'm gonna shoot someone, I aimed high because I don't want them to suffer, which tells me that there's some underlying violence, something really big that would make someone want to do that.
Yeah, of course I understand what you're saying. That would be a logical view on it. Like, that's not how my brain was working at the time, though. I guess your brain's capable of anything, clearly. If I shot at people for no freaking reason. Like, and going back to, like, I'm really not interested in much, like, gore stuff. Like, the weirdest stuff that I am into is, like, the American Horror Story and Edgar Allan Poe. I got into that at school. I had to write stuff about that. It's kind of interesting. But in no way did that make me, like, want to live that way. Like, live like Edgar Allan Poe stories, which are usually, if you're not familiar, they're, like, weird ways of killing people. American Horror Stories could have been written by him. It's weird.
What are your hobbies?
Hobbies, like video games. I like longboarding, which is like kind of like skateboarding, but it's like a longboard and for like hills and stuff. I like surfing, but that's only like the summer. And Lake Erie's not too great for it. It's slowly gotten worse because the sand's washed out. But surfing's awesome, and other than that, I just like nature, pretty much anything to do with that, like hiking, stuff with plants, camping.
What are some things that you dislike doing?
I'm not fond of school, like sitting there writing papers and stuff. Any work with like electronics, like computers, watching TV eventually messes with my eyes and gives me migraines. I get migraines a lot.
Do you share a bedroom with anybody?
No. A long time ago, my brother used to sleep in there, but he's gone now. And even when he was there, actually, he was sleeping on the couch in the living room for a while.
I noticed like some rubber training swords or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot that. Sword fighting. My dad got me into that when I was a kid. He would dress us all up in armor and make a sword fight.
Did you like that?
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Was it like martial art type thing?
Yeah,
So there's like a discipline behind it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he would buy us, like, if you ever heard of anime, it's like kind of like a Japanese cartoon.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Like Rurouni Kenshin, it's like samurai, it's like teaching morals and stuff, and we all sword fight and junk.
Everything back to 2 weeks ago. Was this just a feeling that came over you that you wanted to? What actually came over you? What were you actually thinking? I mean, were you wondering what would it be like to shoot someone, or what would happen if I went to school with a gun and shot someone?
Yeah.
What brought that in your mind? Tell me.
I was thinking, what would it be like, I guess,
What would it be like to what?
to shoot at people,
And that's how it first came to your head? You were just sitting there and you're just like, man, I wonder what it would be like to shoot someone. Is that how it first came in your head? You tell me. I hate to put words in.
like, I guess, yeah, that kind of came to my head first, and like, then thinking about it, like your immediate reaction is like how ridiculous of a thought that is, and then like your morals kind of block out dumb thoughts like that,
Okay.
but just some other side kind of took over the morals, like.
Well, I mean, at that time, were you more specific, or was it just, I wonder what it would be like to shoot someone, or I wonder what it would be like if I brought a gun to school and went to the cafeteria and shot people? Was it that?
What was that?
What I'm saying, was it just a random thought, or was it more specific, like, I wonder what it would be like if I went to school with a gun and shot someone in school?
I'll try to explain some of the thought process, like.
Okay.
When get the thoughts and then of what would it be like, and then you're immediately like, wow, that's why am I thinking that? It's stupid. Your morals kind of block it out, and then the thing that kind of took over the morals from the thoughts were like, I don't know how.
I'm saying there would have to be a point in time where you would start devising a plan, like going to a supermarket, going to school, going to the mall, whatever. That's where you're gonna, take out your actions.
Yeah,
I mean, was it back then in 2 weeks?
but I don't know, but before that was like, I had too many morals to shoot someone, but the thoughts were like slowly degrading that from people into being like good figures into just animals.
Okay.
Like, and animals, that's what they do. They kill each other. Like, it kind of like got my morals then. But would still always think about how awful the thoughts were. And then when I'm at school, like, it was kind of like a battle between that in a way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So your initial thing was, I wonder what it would be like to shoot someone, and then immediately, you said your morals took over.
Yeah.
And then
No,
were you guys contemplating, like, was it immediately, I shouldn't do it, and then you thought, well maybe I should? Were they fighting back then, the good and the bad, like we talked about,
Yeah.
after you wanted to do it?
Yeah. Like,
So even 2 weeks ago.
it was like phases, like for like half the day, it'd be, I wouldn't even think about it. It'd be like, no way, that's ridiculous, and it wouldn't even cross my mind. And the other half the day, it'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then wake up next to, like, it was phases. Usually, it wasn't like back and forth. It was like long phases, split up.
Okay.
Different
For
levels.
those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Why the cafeteria?
Random place. There had no meaning. It could have been anywhere. Any of the schools I stopped at wouldn't have made a difference.
Well, could it have easily happened when you went to Willoughby today?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At any time, like I said, you didn't have access to a gun 2 weeks ago, right? Or
No,
did
I
you?
didn't.
Okay. 2 weeks ago, were you thinking, okay, in the bad part, when you went, when you thought what it would be like, would have had to cross your mind, okay, well, where would I get a gun?
Well, and still, like, I've always hated guns. I wasn't really thinking about guns. And when, like, in the time periods of seriously thinking that, I more started thinking of, like, just, like, not doing, like, I didn't want a gun. It'd be brutal to stab somebody. And so instead, most of my thoughts were just, like, not running away, but just leaving, like, until I quit thinking stupid things.
Okay.
And that was what most of the 2 weeks was made up with, like, those thoughts.
And it would just pop in your head?
Yeah, just
Right.
getting away, so nobody was hurt until I quit thinking dumb things, and then I ran into the gun.
And when you ran into the gun yesterday, did you think about it more then?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you devise more of a plan on what would happen today?
There wasn't much of a plan. I didn't really think I needed one. If you have a gun in a school, it's not going to be much different if you plan on rooms, or it's all going to be just as bad.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: what you thought, or what was going through your mind within these past 2 weeks up until this morning, when you followed through with it? Did that? And I know I may have brought this. Did that give you somewhat of a relief
After I did it,
after you did it?
no, I was more terrified than ever of myself and what I did. There was no relief at all.
Getting back to it, it's always the why, and that's what's not being answered here.
I would if I could.
Do you think he had some psychological problems?
I think I did for that time period.
Okay.
Clearly have psychological problems for a while to be thinking about doing that and not be going to the point where you feel like you can't control it enough to where you have to just leave to prevent it.
Okay.
But I don't feel that anymore. I'm like, so yeah, I did for a small time period.
So would you say up until you fired the 10 rounds in the cafeteria,
Yeah.
would you say that you had some issues right there, some mental
No.
issues right there?
Not up until, but at the time, it's small time period before
Okay.
a few weeks.
Oh, a few weeks before.
The two
Okay.
like I didn't have psychological problems like when I was younger, like
Yeah.
building up to it.
Are we going back to the 6th grade?
Well, all my whole life, like I don't feel like I had psychological problems. Like I never thought about anything like that, and then those snapped into this weird 2 weeks.
But what I'm saying is that you felt up until after the shooting or before the shooting that you did have some psychological problems.
Before the shooting, for a small amount of time.
Okay. And now how about after the shooting? Like right now, like we're talking right now.
I feel like I don't.
You feel you don't have any
Yeah.
okay. So up until the shooting, up before you shot, you felt you had some issues.
Yes.
Okay.
A while.
Okay. When the shooting occurred, up until now, you don't feel.
I don't feel like I have psychological problems. I feel terrible, but that's not a problem. That's obviously I would feel terrible that I shot at people.
Um, you could.
We stepped out here for a little bit. We're giving you some time to write your statement. And one of the things that we did is we wanted to check on conditions of some of the students. And we're getting word, it's unconfirmed, but we are getting word that at least one of them has passed away. And that some others may. So it's really important that we get to the why. We really need to know why.
I would tell you that's.
We're not saying this to make you feel bad. We're saying this so you start to realize.
I know.
I know you think it's a big deal, but when this starts happening, you know how more important it is.
I know. I
Okay.
should know what I did. But
I want to prevent this from happening again.
yeah.
If there's any way that I can do that by knowing why, what motivated you to do this, maybe I can stop somebody else from doing this.
Exactly. Like that's my goals before the psychotic little 2 weeks was to want to help people. So I understand what you're saying, wanting to help people. So I would definitely tell you if I had a reason because I want to help. I can't help in this situation though.
You mentioned about your grandparents being strict. They ever punish you?
Grounding is like not being allowed to go out somewhere.
Nothing physical though.
No.
Have you ever been physically assaulted or abused or anything like that?
No.
Ever been mentally abused?
Mentally, no.
I know you feel remorseful about what happened right there. But like you said, unconfirmed. If you knew that you took someone's life, how would that make you feel?
word really can't describe it. There's no negative enough word.
Having that information, does that change anything right now?
Any change anything.
Do you feel any differently? Are you thinking any differently about anything?
This whole time I've been already realizing that someone could easily be dead. Because I shot a lot of bullets into a small group of people. It feels just as terrible. That's what I thought might happen.
How many people do you think were there?
Around 9.
And did you aim at each one of them?
No, it was pretty random.
You feel like hurting yourself now?
Mm.
Feels sick to your stomach now?
Not really. I got sick to my stomach so much as a kid from migraines I can't anymore.
Mm.
I assume that's the reason, but if that makes sense, I don't know.
You have to make a couple of phone calls.
Mm.
We're going to step out of the room for a little bit,
Alright.
and then we'll be back and I'll talk to you, okay?
Yes.